Hello, everyone, and welcome to Grid Tonight. My name is Joe, and I'm joined today with Kobe Lambeth from the PodiumFinish.net. Kobe, how are you doing today?
I'm doing great, Joe. It's kind of wet down here in North Carolina and also South Carolina as well in the Darlington area. So yeah, although it's wet out here, I'm glad to be on here tonight and ready to talk some great racing news with you.
What started as just talking about some great racing news extended to pre-race and post-race coverage with Grid Live.
And welcome to Grid Live. I'm hosting today with Kobe Lambeth.
Along the way, we made some friends and added some new members to the Grid Network team. We've also had the privilege of interviewing great drivers, Hall of Fame worthy drivers from different disciplines across the motorsports world, aspiring drivers looking to make their way up, and some of the biggest names and champions in all professional motorsports.
Alex Pillow, welcome. How are you doing today?
I'm doing great.
And along the way, we have made a purpose to have one of the most diverse teams of motorsports journalism to bring different perspectives and share their love of motorsports. As the team grew, we covered everything from Abu Dhabi 2021, the extended show, the most recent roundtable with some very heated topics.
Willpower, I think, is getting up there just because of how sneaky he's been.
Our team does this for you, the viewers. Without you, we wouldn't be here. So from everyone, a big thank you to you, the viewers.
Hi, it's Amanda. I just wanted to say thank you to this community that we've built, and I'm so proud of everything that the Grid Network has done to grow over these past few years, and I'm so thankful to be a part of it. And I especially want to thank everyone who subscribed and tuned in and made the show something that we can be proud of. So thank you so much for your support, and we hope to continue bringing you great content.
Hey everyone, Brandon Crossland from Grid Live Encore. Just want to thank each and every one of you for helping us reach 1,000 subscribers here on Grid Network. It's quite a milestone, and we couldn't have done it without you. Thank you so much, each and every one of you that have decided to subscribe to this channel, and thanks for following us for all these years. We're looking forward to the future and what it has in store.
Hey everyone, it's Ben Schneider. I just want to come on here quickly and say thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Thank you especially to our Patreon supporters and our loyal viewers who have been there since the beginning. It's been a great experience with this team the last few years, from working Grid Live wrap-ups on Sunday nights from the very beginning here with Kobe and Joe, to seeing where we are now and getting the chance to even go out to Portland a couple of times to work with Joe on site. I know we have bigger and better things planned for the future, so here's to the next 1,000. Thank you all so much.
A massive thank you to everyone here who has joined us at the Grid Network, who has liked, subscribed, and commented. We would not be here without you today. So thank you for joining us along on this journey, and we look forward to having another amazing season with you all.
Hey y'all, it's Matthew Bro with Grid Network. We want to thank you very much for 1,000 subscribers. Personally, I want to thank Grid Network for everything they've done for me. They gave me my first motorsports opportunity out of college back in 2022. I've almost been with them 2 full years now. And you don't see my face as much anymore, but now I'm writing a weekly NASCAR story, so check out gridranking.com as well. But thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. Here's to 1,000 more subscribers, and here's to many, many more years of Grid Network to come. Thank you, guys.
Hey, this is Jackson Lambros from Grid Network and Outlet Media, thanking you from the bottom of our hearts here at Grid for 1,000 subscribers. It's insane how far we've come in just the short time we've been doing this all together, and I'm so excited to see where this team goes. Stay tuned.
A special thank you to each and every one of you who have subscribed to the Grid Network over the past 4 years. It means so much to each and every one of us that you choose to get your motorsport news from this amazing team. When I first joined the Grid Network, it was the British Grand Prix in 2021. It was after the first ever sprint race. I joined in the middle of the commentary box and said how much it didn't work. And it gave us an exciting grid for the next day, but we kind of knew what was going to happen. Immediately, less than 24 hours later, my words were eaten, because we had Max Verstappen take off Lewis Hamilton, and suddenly I was on the Grid Network talking about all the drama that unfolded. At the end of that year, we had Abu Dhabi in 2021, and all the drama between Hamilton and Verstappen and the virtual safety car becoming a full safety car, not a red flag. I was on air for 2 hours on my phone. It may have looked unprofessional, but the amazing team around me were able to stay on air unscripted for 2 hours while I was battling everything, getting the latest news, all resulting in Max Verstappen becoming world champion. I broke 2 microphones that day. It was definitely an experience. Since then, me and this wonderful team have developed so much, and I am thankful to each and every one of them for their continued support, loyalty and love I get from them. And especially I enjoy talking with you, the fans. It is absolutely amazing that anytime we come here, we know that we're fans talking to fans about the great sports we love. I hope you all enjoy the content we'll continue to bring you in the future, and I can't wait to host more Grid Tonight shows and be a panelist on the Grid Encores, the Grid Lives, and I can't wait to see where we'll go. It is a genuine pleasure to be part of this amazing team. Thank you, Grid Network.
Hello everybody. Thank you to everybody for getting the Grid Network to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. We've been pushing for this for a very long time, and the last couple of months, well, since the turn of the year really, the subscription number has been steadily rising, and we had a little target to get to 1,000 before Easter, and we've done it with a few days to spare. So a massive thank you to everybody for subscribing, liking, watching the video, sharing everything on social, and congratulations to Joe, to Kobe and the rest of the team. It's been a monumental couple of years for us here at Grid Network. And the only way is up, and we've christened that with this weekend getting another member of the team into the paddock for a race which we saw at the weekend, and more of that to come throughout the year. So again, thank you to everybody for getting the Grid Network to 1,000 subscribers on YouTube. Here's to the next 1,000.
Hey everyone, just wanted to say thank you for helping Grid Network reach 1,000 subscribers. It's such a special milestone for this entire team to reach. I remember when it was just Joe and I doing these shows every week with Grid Tonight, Grid Live Pre-Race, and Grid Live Wrap-Up with just the two of us, and then Matt White's occasional video every week. And now we went from a 3-man team to adding quite a diverse group of talent. I'm just so fortunate that we're able to share this accomplishment together with a great team that we have here at Grid Network. So truly, from the bottom of my heart, thank you to each and every one of our 1,000 subscribers for helping us get to this special milestone. It's truly, truly appreciated.
Hey guys, it's Jackson from the Grid Network. Thank you so much for helping us reach 1,000 subscribers. It's a really big milestone, and although I've only been here a few weeks, it's been really exciting to watch the channel continue to grow, and I'm excited to see where we go from here.
Hi everyone, it's Esha here. First off, I would like to give a big thank you to all of our subscribers and viewers for helping us reach this amazing milestone of 1,000 subscribers. And second, I would like to thank Grid Network and all of our team members for helping me grow and learn so much. I came into the team just a regular Formula One fan, and they've helped me grow so much, given me so many opportunities, and all of that wouldn't have been possible without our viewers and subscribers as well. So a big thank you to our subscribers and to the whole Grid Network team for taking me in and teaching me so much. Thanks.
Joe here. A big thank you to everyone that has subscribed to us, watched us grow from just Kobe and I to the wonderful team we have right now. Your support means the world to the entire team. It means the world to me. I'm so privileged to be part of such a wonderful group of people that share their love of motorsports with you, the viewers. Thank you.
Hello and welcome to the Women in Motorsport program. I'm Esha Azim from Racing with Esha, and with me is Ben Schneider from Grid Live Encore and NASCAR.info, as well as Joe Samaniego. As always, a big thank you to our Patreon investors, Colin, Deshelle, Mark, Robin, David, and Matthew. You too can invest in the Grid Network by clicking on the link in the video description. Or you can always opt to do a one-time investment through Buy Me a Coffee or YouTube Super Chats. $10 by Super Chat or Buy Me a Coffee, and we will mail you some fun Grid Network stickers. So be sure to subscribe and hit the bell icon. And also, a big thank you from the whole Grid Network team to everybody for helping us hit 1,000 subscribers. Now, let's get this show on the road. Ben, let's start with the NASCAR Xfinity Series at Circuit of the Americas. So, the Focus Health 250 at Circuit of the Americas had all 3 NASCAR National Series. Hailie Deegan started 35th and came home 23rd and on the lead lap. She is 26th in the point standings and is slowly progressing. So Ben, overall, how was her road course experience in COTA?
Well, before we get into that, this is my first time on the air since we hit that magic number, so I'll echo Esha's statement here. Thank you all so much for 1,000 subscribers. Much appreciated. Thank you all for all the support, whether you're part of the Patreon or just watch the streams here on YouTube. Your support does not go unnoticed, and here's to the next 1,000 and beyond from there. In terms of Hailie Deegan, Esha, got a chance to check out her race vlog and weekly recap on YouTube this past week, and she mentioned that it was a nice rebound for her at the end to be able to salvage a decent finish out of it. I've got to say, I've been a little bit surprised that she hasn't had a little bit more success on the road courses, because if you think back to her K&N Pro Series West days, as you see on our graphic right there, she won 3 times in that series. Never on a road course. They were all on the short ovals, but she showed great pace at Sonoma every time the series would go out there. And, I think kind of her off-road background a little bit helped her with her development in that series. And I thought that might progress over to trucks and now to Xfinity a little bit more than it has even. But as you mentioned, 23rd, certainly not a terrible finish when you consider that was on the lead lap again. And, how many cars we had on the lead lap. We talked about this on the Encore show on Monday, how devastating Shane Van Gisbergen's penalty was, dropping him all the way from second down to, I think it was 27th there at the end. So even behind where Deegan ended up. So, the Xfinity Series field is as strong as ever. There's a lot of competition here. I'm sure Hailie's not satisfied with P23 on the leaderboard, but, there are going to be more opportunities for her as the season progresses. It's not like the Truck Series where this was their only road course of the year. This season, they have multiple opportunities coming up where they turn left and right, and I'm sure she learned a lot from this weekend, and she and the AM racing team are going to continue to work on making those next steps forward and seeing if they can improve on those tracks throughout the year, which I think we'll get into one of them right now.
Yeah, definitely. And speaking of more opportunities, considering the next road course is Portland for the Xfinity Series, it's a much smaller and older course with natural track limits. So do you guys think that Portland could be less forgiving for mistakes? Joe, starting with you.
That's a very interesting question. I never thought about that aspect where Portland, being a shorter track, lot less elevation, because of the grass there. If you don't have grass, you have a concrete wall as the inside of the backstretch. It does come off as, on paper, it looks less forgiving, because in Circuit America, ton of runoff room, because you had to all that room for essentially F1 to be a FIA grade 1 circuit. Portland doesn't have that. So if you make a mistake, you could be in the grass, and in Portland, we know it rains here all the time. In fact, it's raining outside right now. You get into that wet grass, you're going to lose control easily compared to, you could potentially lose control on a wet rumble strip, but you will have more pavement on the other side. You could save the car. If you just have grass, you're going for the spin. And we've seen the trouble occur everywhere there, from the Shelton chicane on the first lap when they take the initial green flag, the S's coming out of the chicane. I believe it was Riley Hurst the first year that caused a big pileup when him and some others on a wet track all exited the chicane. Somebody got on the wet grass, spun back in front of the field. You had trouble there. The backstretch and that final corner, you just take a little too wide, you're in the grass, race could be over. So it's a really interesting question. I do feel like, though, the natural track boundaries, it does make it a little bit less forgiving, and it could be more of a challenge for all the drivers, especially if weather comes in.
Yeah, Joe, to your point as well, I remember the first year we went out there together, AJ Allmendinger was from the back to the front to the back again, and spinning off into the grass, and ended up still winning the race. Now, granted, AJ Allmendinger is one of the best we've ever seen in the NASCAR Xfinity Series when it comes to road courses. But I think that what he did was prove to everybody that just because you get shuffled off course here in the first stage or whatever, it doesn't necessarily mean that you can't come back from that. And not to say it's not an uphill battle, but it's certainly not impossible to work some strategy and play your cards right and work your way back up there. So, of course, this isn't just going to affect Hailie Deegan. Of course, it's going to affect the entire field here. But, we went through this whole discussion with track limits this weekend, obviously with SVG in particular, but a lot of drivers got dinged 30 seconds or had to serve a drive-through penalty because they were cutting the S's. But on other parts of track, obviously, you saw them running well wide of where the F1 track limits are. at COTA. It is certainly a much different terrain when you go to Portland. The track limits are, for the most part, pretty self-explanatory, and what I would like to see pretty much at every road course we go to. If you don't want drivers using that part of the track, put grass there or put a wall there or something that makes that part of a track unusable. So you're going to find out pretty quickly that you're not in a good spot if you end up going off and to the part of a track that isn't within the track limits. To a place like Portland more so than Circuit of the Americas for sure. So again, not to say that you can't recover from it, but it is certainly less forgiving if you make a mistake and run off course.
And we got to add in too, you're going to have live pit stops this year. We don't have we had the past years. You're going to have pit stops there. So that could be a benefit of you made a mistake, the pit stops, get everything repaired, work your way on a different strategy. But still, like you said, it's going to be very unforgiving for everybody. But new dynamic now with the live pit stops.
Yeah, definitely. Portland's definitely going to be an interesting race to watch out for. But looking at our next race now, we have at the Richmond Raceway, which is a short track. This is also a track where Hailie's best finish was 15th in the Truck Series last year. So, Ben, what do you think would be a realistic goal for her, and would a top 15 be a good day?
That's just it right there. Top 15 would be a good day. Top 10 would be a great one. But I think where the team is right now, where Hailie is right now, I think top 15 is certainly a good, realistic goal to set. Again, I think, obviously the Truck Series has been very competitive the last several years, but even more so in Xfinity. I think that the field is as strong as ever. The independents and smaller teams that don't even have a Cup affiliation are also as strong as ever. So there's a lot of good talent, a lot of good drivers in that series that she's going to have to contend with. But I think if she can come out of there with a top 15 and equal what she did in the Truck Series in these Xfinity cars, I think that'll certainly be a solid day, and that's a good realistic expectation for her to have.
Definitely. Now, that's all for this section. Joe, I'll hand it over to you to talk more about the first quarter of the 2024 season.
Yeah, hard to believe the first quarter of the 2024 year is coming to an end. Been very exciting, of course, not only 1,000 subscribers, but all the racing that have been starting up, and we're going to have more racing throughout the next 3 months. So we're going to do something different on this show. We're going to nominate a driver that we felt stood out from the months of January, February, and March. Encourage everyone watching to comment with who you felt stood out. I know so far already we mentioned Hailie Deegan, the Xfinity Series, but then you got to look at Arca, Amber Balkin, Tony Brenniger, Isabel Robusto made her return at Phoenix. F1 Academy, their first 2 races in Saudi Arabia, and several female drivers in IMSA. So, Esha, starting with you, when it comes to a standout driver for the first quarter, who are you nominating?
So I'm going to pull from the F1 Academy, and this is a driver that we've actually talked a lot about recently in our recent episodes. It's Dorian Pin. So far she's accumulated 32 points for the F1 Academy. She's representing Mercedes with Prima Racing and is currently 3rd in the standings. We all know what happened recently with her, where she had a 20-second penalty and had actually won the race, but then ended up not winning it because of the penalty. But I think that so far, this season, she's had a great performance, and I think that she has a lot of potential. And I'm just really excited to see what she does for the rest of the 2024 season.
Well, since Esha took mine, I think Dorian Penn is the obvious answer. And I've got to confess again, of course, I'm a much more casual sports car viewer, but even I have been able to hear about the great things that Dorian Penn's been doing on that side of the motorsports world, and then coming in here to F1 Academy. Certainly everybody that had her as a preseason championship favorite, I think, is certainly looking pretty good right now, even though she did unfortunately have that penalty in race 2, which I think was, again, on the theme of talking about SVG's penalty this weekend, I think certainly far too harsh given the circumstances, but we don't need to beat a dead horse any more than we already have. I guess I'll just go down the standings one bit and talk about the driver that inherited the race 2 victory. Abby Pulling, I think, has been certainly the best of the rest in F1 Academy so far this year. I don't know that she's going to be able to take the fight to Dorian Penn from a championship in F1 Academy, but she has certainly been a bright spot for Alpine, whose F1 team obviously is off to a terrible start to the year. At least they've got something to smile about here in one of the junior categories with F1 Academy, and what Abby Pulling's doing. I would not put another race win past her this year, and again, I'm sure she was thrilled to inherit the win, but I'm sure any racing driver would want to actually win the race by crossing the finish line first on track and not have an unfortunate circumstances unfortunate set of circumstances lead to a victory like that. So I'm sure she's going to be more fired up than ever once we come back for Miami and for the rest of the F1 Academy season to try to take the fight to Dorian, and we'll see what happens there. But both of them off to great starts for the year. But Esha, like you mentioned, Dorian Penn is certainly setting a very high standard. It's going to be very interesting to see what happens with her beyond this year, assuming she does go on to win this championship, which looks like she's now the heavy favorite to do so.
Two great picks. I'm going to go with a pick that nobody mentioned, Erica Enders from the National Hot Rod Association. They kicked off the season with a win. Remember, she is the defending champion. She's going for another record championship this year. She leads the points. There are 2 races into the season, and Erica Enders overall, I feel, has really shown if you're going to contend for the Pro Stock Championship, the road, you have to deal with Erica Enders for that championship battle because she is, again, off to a fast start. We got to remember last year, Erica Enders, the first, I believe, 7 races, we were talking about what's going on. She failed to qualify for one of the races because there you have to qualify. You cannot rely on professionals. Struggle. She turned that season around, got a championship. Here we are. She's starting the season off strong. I think she's definitely going to be a contender for the championship. So Erica Enders is my nomination for this quarter. And of course, as I mentioned, April, May, and June are coming up. 24 hours of Le Mans. That's going to be coming up in June. We got more F1 Academy in May, and ARCA will continue to have more races. So Ben, starting with you, is there any particular drive you'll be watching as a potential breakout in the next 3 months?
Well, again, we'll see what her schedule looks like because, of course, she's still coming back from the concussion that really set her back last year. But Isabella Robusto was an absolute superstar in Phoenix. And, for her to come in back to make her ARCA debut after not being able to do so last year because of the injury and look like a veteran out there, to be quite honest, to already be ahead of her teammates Tony Breidinger and Amber Balkan, who have significant ARCA experience. Not to say that they can't also take those steps forward throughout the year as well. We've talked about Tony Breidinger's improvements many times on this show as well. But for Isabella Robusto to be not just level with them, but even a little bit further up the running order than they were in just her first ever start, I think is a real warning sign for the rest of the field. I don't know how many starts she's going to get in ARCA this year, but she's going to be a force to be reckoned with. And I think absolutely, if you have to look at a candidate for a breakout potential star in the world of women in motorsports, in the world of ARCA and the ARCA Menard series, she's definitely a name you've got to keep an eye on for sure.
That's a great pick, Ben. For my potential breakout, I'm going to pull from the F1 Academy once again. I'm going to talk about Bianca Bustamante. I know we've also talked about her on the show before, but she's one of the drivers that I was really excited about going into this F1 Academy 2024 season. I think she's put up some great performances last year, and I think she's really skilled. And I think that with her representing McLaren, she's going to do some great things this season. So I'm really excited to see her next few performances. I know so far she's had a decent enough to start to the 2024 season, but I think she's going to have a great amount of points at the end of the season, and I'm just excited to watch her in the next few races as well.
Those are 2 great picks. One driver I'm looking at from F1 Academy as well, Hamda Al-Kabasi. She got several wins last year. Overall, as she improved the consistency, she could be a title contender. This year hasn't exactly started off that great, but of course, they only done one race weekend at a brand new track. Now they're going to another new track, Miami. I think one of the big things for her is just to go back to what she always does, get back to her routine, and I think she could be up towards the front. So Hamda Al-Kabasi, who is racing with the Red Bull support, I think that's going to be one of the drivers to watch in the next 3 months in F1 Academy. Now, before we go off the air, Ben got it brought up, Taylor Ferns. Big news that broke out yesterday, Tuesday. She is going to be joining Able Motorsports in the 2024 Indy next season. So this year, but she's only doing the ovals. That includes Iowa, Worldwide Technology Raceway, Milwaukee Mile, good to see that track back, and the Nashville Super Speedway. So a diverse lineup of tracks. For those not familiar with Taylor, how big is this for the USAC star? to be on such a stage with Jamie Chadwick and Lindsey Brewer?
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. Obviously, it's a limited schedule, only doing the ovals, but as we've talked about on our IndyCar roundtables before, and just talking about the state of the series, the ovals are obviously sorely lacking even at the top level in IndyCar. So it's great that Indy Next is getting to run a few of those this year. And again, I know that the logistics of a deal coming together so late probably aren't super thrilling for the owners that already made plans and invited guests to the Nashville street circuit that now have to scrap all those because we're going to the oval. But for the drivers, I think it's great that they're going to get that experience on a larger oval before they have the ambitions, obviously, to go up to the IndyCar series and run the Indianapolis 500 one day. This is a great chance for all of them to prove themselves. So for Taylor Ferns to get this opportunity is a great position for her to be in for her career. And I'm really excited to see what she's going to be able to do when we get to these ovals here later in the year.
Going to be very exciting to see what she does in the ovals. And of course, we got a very exciting 2024 ahead of us. And we encourage everyone, once again, be sure to invest in the Grid Network, Colin the Show, Mark Robin, David Matthews. Some of these folks have been investing in us before we even hit 100 subscribers. So especially Colin the Show, Mark. I know Robin's been around a long time. Thank you all so much, David and Matthew. We appreciate your investment as well, too. And for everyone that's UP2 Super Chat, buy me a coffee, get on your name on the leaderboard. And of course, one of the big things, the easiest way to support us is hit the bell icon, subscribe, show your support for the team here at the Grid Network as we got more tracks to visit, more driver interviews coming up, and a very exciting 2024 season. For Esha Azim and Ben Schneider, I'm Joe San Diego. Thank you for watching. We'll see you next time.